The first message arrived without fanfare, a single pulse across the orbital comm array. Its content, however, was anything but subtle. Humanity's monitors flickered red, and the words echoed across Earth's command hubs: "Surrender, or your world will not survive the night." Dr. Elena Voss stared at the screen, hands pressed against the console as if her touch could somehow erase the threat. Her mind raced, calculating the probabilities of compliance, resistance, and survival. Every simulation she ran ended in the same grim conclusion: Earth was outmatched. The Aethar Empire had numbers, firepower, and a reach humanity could barely imagine. "Do we even know who, or what, we're dealing with?" Counselor May asked, her voice trembling more than she intended. The room was tense, officers and scientists clustered in front of displays showing orbital maps and fleet positions. "Not completely," Elena admitted. She didn't need to elaborate. The Aethar Empire's reputation preceded them: swift, merciless, and precise. Their fleets reduced colonies to ash before a full sentence could be uttered. "But we know enough. They are testing us. Seeing if Earth blinks." "Blinking isn't an option," General Rivas said sharply. His graying hair and lined face spoke of decades spent guarding Earth's orbit. "We fight if we have to. And if we die together." Elena nodded, appreciating his resolve, but inwardly she worried. "And if we act rashly? If we provoke them?" A subtle vibration ran through the table. Someone had initiated a live feed from the outer orbital sensors. The bridge lights dimmed as the feed expanded. A small fleet, far larger than humanity had ever encountered, appeared in orbit beyond Mars, its ships sleek and angular, black against the sun's glare. The sheer size was overwhelming. Humanity's largest cruisers were barely visible in comparison. "They're here," May whispered. Elena clenched her jaw. "Not here. Watching. Waiting." The council erupted into debate. Some urged diplomacy. Some argued for immediate mobilization. Others, including Elena, advocated a different approach: observation, assessment, and preparation. Earth had strengths the aliens couldn't quantify, and those strengths had been buried for centuries. "Options?" General Rivas asked. Elena drew in a slow breath. "We send a message back. Not surrender. Not threats. A warning. A reminder that Earth isn't defenseless." Counselor May shook her head. "Do you have the authority to act without full approval?" "I do. And I will. Every moment we delay, they learn more about our weaknesses." The room went silent. Even the hum of the life support systems seemed distant. Elena typed a short, precise message, choosing words to convey intellect, restraint, and latent strength. "We have observed your approach. We recommend you reconsider. Humanity is not as fragile as you assume." It was a calculated risk. The wording was deliberate, a challenge without provocation. Minutes felt like hours before the Aethar response arrived. The screen flickered, and a distorted, alien voice filled the room. Formal, deliberate, each syllable unnervingly precise. "Your defiance is noted, primitive species. Compliance remains your only option. Resistance will be extinguished." Elena's fingers hovered over the console. "They're dismissive," she said, her voice calm despite the rising tension. "They see us as insignificant." General Rivas slammed a hand against the table. "Insignificant? They'll learn differently." May exhaled sharply. "We're talking about annihilation. Entire populations gone. You can't just fight these things." Elena turned to her, gaze steady. "We're not fighting blindly. We're waiting. Watching. Planning. And we have something they don't expect." The council leaned in. "Something?" May asked. Elena's eyes flicked to the ancient star charts displayed on the wall behind her. They were relics of humanity's early spacefaring era, maps of early expeditions, abandoned research stations, and, hidden in encrypted files, the schematics for a weapon long forgotten. "They call it a relic," she said quietly, almost to herself. I call it a reminder of what humans are capable of. A low murmur ran through the room. Some officers knew of the weapon, most thought it myth. Yet the schematics had survived centuries, hidden in vaults beneath Earth's surface, waiting for a day like this. This weapon, Elena continued, was designed to stop threats far larger than ourselves. To awaken it, we only need the knowledge we already possess and the courage to use it. Rivas's face hardened. And if we fail? Then we fail as humans do, together, she said. But if we succeed, the galaxy will remember Earth. The aliens, unaware of humanity's hidden strength, tightened their orbital formation. Observational satellites reported scanning waves, probing Earth's defenses. Each wave passed harmlessly, but with every scan, Elena noted subtle weaknesses in their patterns. They're confident, she muttered. Overconfident. She turned to the Council. Every day they stay in orbit without attacking, they underestimate us more. Every day we prepare, we gain leverage. We need time. Time to awaken what history left for us. Counselor May frowned. And if diplomacy fails entirely? Elena's gaze hardened, reflecting the weight of responsibility and the spark of determination that had carried humanity through countless crises. Then we show them who we are. Outside the window, Earth rotated slowly beneath them, blue and green, fragile but unbroken. The alien fleet loomed in distant orbit, unaware that the seeds of their misjudgment were already sown. Humanity, underestimated and dismissed, had begun to stir. The room held its breath. For the first time in decades, Earth was united not by fear, but by purpose. And at the heart of that purpose stood Dr. Elena Voss, staring into the void, knowing the next steps would decide the fate of every human alive. The first warning had been sent. And for now, the aliens ignored it. But humanity had awakened, and with it, an old weapon of unimaginable potential waited silently in the shadows, ready to remind the universe that Earth was not defenseless. The hum of the underground vault was steady, a heartbeat beneath the bustling city above. Dr. Elena Voss stepped into the circular chamber, the walls lined with panels of dark metal, engraved with symbols of humanity's early spacefaring ambitions. Dust-free and sterile, yet heavy with history, the vault had remained untouched for centuries. Today, it would awaken again. This is it, Elena said, her voice soft but resolute. She motioned to her team of engineers and physicists, who had spent the last 48 hours decrypting centuries-old schematics and reconstructing protocols from fragmented records. Lieutenant Corin Jail, a pilot-turned-technical specialist, adjusted the holographic interface. If this works, it's going to change the game. If it fails, well, we'll know the definition of total annihilation. Elena didn't flinch. Then we succeed. We have no alternative. She tapped a sequence into the console, revealing the three-dimensional framework of the weapon, a lattice of energy nodes, orbiting the core in precise synchronization. It wasn't a weapon in the sense of missiles or guns. It was a testament to human ingenuity, a networked interstellar deterrent, capable of projecting influence across light years without direct confrontation. This isn't just firepower, Elena explained, tracing the nodes with her fingers. It's a message. A demonstration of what humans can achieve when cornered. Engineer Lirahan, her brow furrowed, hesitated. And the activation? It's irreversible, isn't it? Elena nodded. Once we trigger it, we can't turn it back. The energy patterns will radiate outward until every probe, satellite, or fleet in proximity detects it. The Aethar will notice. And they'll know Earth isn't bluffing. A silence fell over the room. Each person understood the weight of their task. The weapon wasn't just a tool of war, it was proof that humanity, long underestimated, could harness brilliance and strategy beyond what the galaxy assumed. Are we ready? Elena asked. All systems nominal, Corin confirmed. Power grid stable. Nodes aligned. Communication relays optimized. Countdown ready. Elena inhaled, the tension coiling like steel in her chest. Initiate sequence. Lights pulsed across the chamber. The nodes hummed in perfect harmony, energy cascading along the lattice. Elena watched as historical blueprints materialized into tangible force, a machine born of human intellect, ingenuity, and audacity. Visual confirmation, she asked. Complete, Lyra replied. The lattice shimmered with a soft azure glow, faint at first, then strengthening. The weapon is online. The signal is alive. From the orbital sensors, the first readings reached Earth Command. The alien fleet was detecting anomalous energy. Small probes altered course, as if confused. Larger vessels adjusted formations, scanning intensively, but without approaching. The Aethar did not yet understand, they had not anticipated this. Elena's lips curved into a tight, controlled smile. They think it's a bluff. Voss entered the vault, his presence grounding the team. You're certain this will be enough to make them reconsider? Elena met his gaze. It's not enough to destroy them. It's enough to make them pause, to make them respect that Earth is not a target to be taken lightly. The communication console lit up again, the alien voice formal and cautious. Humanity, you are activating unknown technology. Explain your purpose. Elena's fingers hovered for a moment before she responded. Purpose is simple. Survival. Warning. Earth is not expendable. You have been warned. The Aethar fleet faltered, their formations tightening, then spreading, a subtle, unspoken hesitation. Humans watched the screens in stunned anticipation. The pause lasted only seconds, but in those seconds, humanity had the advantage, initiative. Corin leaned toward Elena. They're evaluating. They don't understand what we just did. Exactly, Elena said. And they never will, unless they attempt aggression. Then they'll learn quickly. The team began adjustments, fine-tuning energy pulses. Each node emitted a pulse that could be detected across interstellar distances, creating the perception of power far beyond what humans could project conventionally. Every calculation, every adjustment, was precise. One error could betray the weapon's location, or worse, trigger instability. Pulse integrity is holding, Lyra reported. Energy levels steady. No deviations. Elena allowed herself a brief nod. Good. Keep monitoring. Any fluctuation, we shut it down. In the control room above the vault, the council watched the demonstration live. Counselor May's face was pale, but her eyes reflected awe. I can't believe this was hidden for centuries. Elena's voice came through the comm. It wasn't hidden by chance. It was preserved. Humanity's oldest creations weren't meant to be forgotten, they were meant to be used when the galaxy underestimated us. May exhaled slowly. And they underestimated us badly. The energy pulses intensified. Each wave traveled silently, invisibly, across the void. Alien probes detected distortions in space-time, communications jammed subtly across wavelengths, and sensors recorded anomalies that defied known physics. The Aethar fleet was observing something that should not exist, something human hands had constructed from ingenuity, not sheer scale. Voss leaned over Elena's shoulder. How long until they realize what we've done? She considered. Minutes. Hours at most. But by then, we'll have established the message, Earth is not to be conquered lightly. We've shifted perception. A sudden alert blinked on the console, one of the alien scout ships altered course sharply, moving away from Mars' orbit. The first signs of doubt. Elena's heartbeat quickened. The weapon had not fired a shot, had not destroyed a ship, yet its presence was already reshaping the battlefield. Observation complete, she asked. Corin shook his head. They're recalibrating. Communicating among themselves. Whatever they're saying, it's unprecedented. Elena allowed herself a rare smile. We've bought time. And time is our greatest ally. The team continued their work through the night, adjusting energy patterns, testing stability, and monitoring alien reactions. Outside, Earth rotated slowly, the planet's oceans shimmering under the artificial light of orbital stations. Humanity's oldest weapon had awakened, not through destruction, but through demonstration. the universe had been reminded that Earth was neither fragile nor insignificant. Voss placed a hand on Elena's shoulder. "You've done it. Whatever happens next, humanity has proven it can rise to the occasion." Elena's gaze returned to the holographic lattice. "This is only the beginning. The Aethar think they understand us. They don't. And when they realize what we are capable of, their assumptions about humanity will shatter completely." Above, in orbit, the alien fleet lingered, tense, recalculating, uncertain. They had not seen such coordination or ingenuity in a species they deemed primitive. Humanity had acted with precision, with courage, and with a weapon they had almost forgotten existed. And in that silent, vast expanse, Earth's message was clear: underestimate humanity at your peril. The alien fleet hovered over the Sol system like a shadow, but now that shadow trembled. Dr. Elena Voss stood on the observation deck of the orbital command station, her eyes fixed on the holographic representation of the Aethar vessels. Every sensor reading, every pulse of energy from humanity's ancient weapon, confirmed what she had hoped. They were unsure. "They don't understand what we've done," Lieutenant Corin Jail said beside her, voice a mixture of awe and tension. "They're hesitating." Elena didn't answer immediately. She traced a trajectory of the energy nodes across the void. "They never expected subtlety," she said finally. "They prepared for conventional warfare, guns, missiles, brute force. What they're seeing now is human strategy, and it's alien to them." From Earth Command, Counselor May's voice came over the comm. "Dr. Voss, reports indicate minor shifts in their formations. Some of their ships are retreating slightly from Mars orbit." "Can this be real?" "It's real," Elena confirmed. "They're recalculating. They've realized Earth is not just a planet to take. Every node, every pulse we emitted, it's all deliberate. They're reassessing the cost of engagement." A soft hum filled the deck as the weapon continued to operate. It wasn't firing. It didn't need to. The energy lattice projected confidence, coordination, and capacity for retaliation that exceeded the alien empire's expectations. Humanity was demonstrating its strength without aggression. General Voss leaned on the railing beside Elena. "You've done it. You've made them pause. They've seen that Earth can fight on a level they didn't anticipate." Elena shook her head. "Not just fight. Think. We've forced them to reconsider assumptions about humans. That's the true victory here, control of perception." The alien voice crackled through the comm, more cautious now, less formal, tinged with something unfamiliar: hesitation. "Humanity, your display is unanticipated. Clarify intent." Elena's fingers hovered over the console. She could have escalated, issued threats, even attempted to push them further. Instead, she chose precision. Intent is survival, nothing more. Misjudging Earth carries consequences. We have no desire to conquer, only to protect. Corin watched the fleet shift again. They're communicating among themselves. It's unlike anything we've seen before. No attacks, no signals of aggression. Just evaluation. Elena nodded. Exactly. Fear is a tool, but respect, real, measured respect, is even more powerful. We've earned it. The energy lattice pulsed rhythmically, visible as faint glimmers across space, creating a perception of force without destruction. Orbital sensors detected subtle distortions in electromagnetic fields, gravity waves, and temporal fluctuations. The Aethar vessels responded instinctively, adjusting positions, calculating trajectories, scanning, yet unable to quantify the threat. Counselor May's voice was a whisper over the comm. "There, silent now. No commands. No movements toward attack. This is unprecedented." Elena allowed herself a moment of quiet satisfaction. Silence is the first acknowledgement of awe. They realize, finally, that humans cannot be underestimated. The command deck was alive with activity, but the atmosphere was markedly different from the tension of the past days. Engineers monitored power flow, physicists recalculated energy pulses, and communications officers observed every alien signal. Despite the stakes, there was an undercurrent of triumph. Humanity had not fired a shot, yet it had claimed the upper hand. Rivas's voice was steady, tinged with amazement. What happens next? Do we maintain this display indefinitely? Elena considered the question. Not indefinitely. Just long enough to make them internalize the lesson. Then we can adjust, refine. They'll be cautious, watching, and will have leverage to negotiate from a position of undeniable competence. Corrin smirked. I never thought I'd see the day humans could terrify an entire empire without a single casualty. Elena allowed herself a small smile. We didn't terrify them. We commanded their respect. There's a difference. One leads to fear, the other to recognition. On the holographic map, the alien vessels began moving slowly, spreading outward, retreating incrementally from their previously aggressive positions. The subtle shifts were almost imperceptible, but Elena's team watched with trained eyes. The Aethar were adapting, reconsidering the risks of direct confrontation. The alien voice returned, this time carrying the faintest hint of reverence. Humanity. Earth is formidable. We will proceed with caution. Elena exhaled. They finally see us. Rivas nodded, a rare smile breaking through his normally stern demeanor. All these years, they underestimated our species. And yet, we endured. We adapted. And now, they acknowledge that endurance is strength. Corrin's gaze remained fixed on the fleet. Do you think they'll attempt a diplomatic approach next? Elena's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. Perhaps. But for now, we hold the advantage. The lesson is clear, humanity is no longer a cornered, naive species. We have awakened, and we have reminded the galaxy that Earth's will is formidable. Outside the station's reinforced windows, Earth turned silently, a jewel of blue and green in the void, shielded not just by orbiting defenses, but by the ingenuity and resolve of its people. Across the solar system, alien vessels recalculated, their crews forced to contend with a species they had once dismissed. Humanity had projected a force beyond comprehension, silent, yet undeniable. Rivas turned to Elena. You've done more than protect Earth. You've changed the perception of our species across the stars. This is the moment humans become more than a footnote. Elena's gaze lingered on the distant fleet. The moment has only begun. But yes, for now, the galaxy has taken notice. Counselor May's voice trembled slightly, a mixture of relief and admiration. They're leaving our immediate orbit? Not leaving entirely, Elena replied. They're regrouping, recalibrating their strategy. But their aggression has paused. We have leverage. And we will use it wisely. The team observed the final pulses of the energy lattice. Each node dimmed incrementally, the weapon retreating from full activation, yet leaving a residual imprint of capability across space, a quiet, enduring statement of human potential. Elena addressed her team, voice steady and commanding. You've all done extraordinary work. Today, we've shown that humanity, underestimated for centuries, can rise to meet any challenge. Remember this feeling. Remember what we've accomplished. And prepare, because the galaxy will remember, too. A brief silence settled over the control deck. Then, slowly, conversations resumed, tinged with a cautious optimism that had been absent only hours before. Humanity had not only survived its first encounter with the Aethar Empire, it had impressed, intimidated, and earned respect without shedding a single drop of blood. As Elena looked out at the fleet slowly retreating beyond Mars, she allowed herself a rare moment of satisfaction. Humanity's oldest weapon had awakened not to destroy, but to reveal what humans were capable of. The aliens had been forced to reckon with ingenuity, courage, and strategy, qualities that had been underestimated for too long. The galaxy, she knew, would never underestimate Earth again. And in that silence, so profound, so absolute, humanity had spoken louder than any weapon could. The Aethar Empire lingered at the edge of the Sol system, its fleet reorganized, cautious, but far from retreating completely. Dr. Elena Voss stood at the observation deck once again, the quiet hum of the station beneath her feet a steady rhythm. Humanity had proven it could defend itself, yet the larger challenge remained, maintaining influence, securing Earth's position, and preparing for what might come next. "They're not leaving," Lieutenant Corin Jail said, eyes scanning the display. "Every probe, every ship, they're lingering. Watching. Waiting. Trying to understand what they underestimated." Elena's gaze didn't waver from the holographic projection of the fleet. "That's exactly what we want. They're reassessing. They're calculating. Humanity has earned a measure of control over the narrative. Now it's time to solidify it." From Earth Command, Counselor May's voice came, calm but tense. "Dr. Voss, the people want reassurance. The media is reporting a pause in hostilities, but fear is spreading. They need a statement, something concrete." Elena leaned on the railing. "Then let's give them one. Humanity survived. Humanity demonstrated power without violence. That message alone changes perception, internally and externally." A soft chime indicated an incoming transmission, this one from an unexpected source, the Aethar Empire. The display flickered, revealing a single alien vessel separated from the main fleet. Its form was sleek but austere, lacking the intimidation of the larger cruisers. "Humanity," the voice came, filtered but precise. "Your methods, unexpected. We request direct communication. Intentions are to be clarified. No hostility assumed. Response desired." Elena straightened. "They want dialogue. They're willing to talk without coercion. That is leverage we cannot ignore." General Rivas crossed his arms. "You trust them? After everything?" Elena shook her head. "Trust is irrelevant. We don't need trust. We need recognition. And right now, they are recognizing our capabilities." The Aethar vessel blinked in and out of transmission range. Finally, Elena keyed a secure line. "This is Dr. Elena Voss, representing Earth Command. We welcome dialogue under conditions of mutual respect and clarity." There was a pause before the alien replied, a deliberate, measured silence. "Acknowledged, Dr. Voss. We will comply. Purpose is understanding. Status of your species noted as formidable." A low murmur ran through the command deck. May's hand trembled slightly as she whispered, "Formidable, they actually said it." Elena's eyes glimmered with restrained pride. "And it's true. We've demonstrated ingenuity, strategy, and unity, the very traits they underestimated. This is not the end of the encounter. It's the beginning of recognition." Corin leaned closer, nodding toward the display. "Their formation is stabilizing, almost hesitant. No attacks, no recon sweeps close to Earth. They're reconsidering plans entirely." Elena allowed herself a deep breath. "Exactly. The galaxy is observing. And what they observe is not just our defenses, it's our intelligence, our adaptability, and our will." Below the observation deck, Earth's cities glimmered under the night. Communication satellites transmitted news of the pause in hostilities. Humanity was watching the skies with awe, pride, and cautious relief. The population sensed a change, the perception that Earth could be overrun without consequence was gone. May's voice came again over the comm. "Dr. Voss, the Council requests guidance. Should we extend a diplomatic offer or maintain the current stance?" Elena considered. "Diplomacy must be cautious, deliberate. We project strength first, intent second. We ensure that any offer comes from a position of power. The Aethar need to understand that cooperation, not conquest, is their only viable option." A subtle alert signaled a minor anomaly in the energy lattice. Elena's fingers danced over the controls. Just a minor fluctuation. Nothing critical. Lattice integrity remains stable. Continue monitoring. We cannot allow complacency. Corin glanced at the readouts. Even without aggression, they're recalculating every movement. Every human action is being interpreted strategically. They're learning from us as fast as we anticipate them. Elena nodded. Good. Observation without action is still influence. Every calculation they make about Earth, every reassessment of human behavior, strengthens our position. The alien vessel initiated another transmission. Dr. Voss, the purpose of your device, it is not understood fully. But the intent is noted. We seek mutual terms, not annihilation. Elena met Voss's gaze. This is exactly the acknowledgement we needed. They recognize our capability without risking open war. Humanity's oldest weapon has done more than defend, it has commanded respect. Voss exhaled, a rare smile breaking through his composed demeanor. And to think, the galaxy assumed we were primitive. That we were easy to dismiss. Elena turned back to the observation deck. They assumed incorrectly. Humans adapt. We think, strategize, and act decisively. And most importantly, we survive. Every empire that underestimates us will learn that lesson, sooner or later. Corin frowned slightly. Do you think they'll fully back down? Elena's eyes were firm. Backing down isn't the goal. Respect is. Recognition is. They will reassess every assumption they held about Earth. And from that, we gain time, leverage, and opportunity. That is more valuable than immediate victory. A moment of silence hung over the deck. Even the hum of the station seemed quieter, weighed down by the significance of the moment. Humanity had not only survived the first interstellar confrontation with a superior force, they had reshaped perception, demonstrated ingenuity, and awakened the galaxy to its potential. May's voice softened. We've changed history, haven't we? Elena's gaze lingered on the distant alien fleet. Not just history. We've changed the narrative of humanity itself. From now on, the universe sees Earth not as fragile, but formidable. That perception will endure longer than any weapon or fleet. Below, cities lit up as news spread. Humanity watched, connected in a shared moment of realization. The oldest weapon had served its purpose, not through destruction, but through influence. Humans had reminded the galaxy why they should never be underestimated. The alien fleet, now lingering at the fringes of the Sol system, had altered its stance entirely. Communications flowed cautiously but respectfully. Plans of aggression were shelved. Dialogue, once impossible, was now achievable. Humanity had claimed not only survival but dignity, respect, and a measure of control in the interstellar order. Voss finally allowed himself to speak, voice steady and proud. Dr. Voss, your strategy didn't just protect Earth. It reminded the galaxy that humans are more than survivors, we are thinkers, innovators, and a force to be reckoned with. Elena's fingers rested lightly on the console, watching the holographic lattice pulse one last time before retreating into standby. And this is just the beginning. Humanity will continue to grow, learn, and shape its destiny. But for now, we have made our mark. The Aethar fleet remained silent for long minutes, each ship a monument to calculated restraint. The lesson had been delivered. In that silence, so profound, so complete, humanity's voice rang clear, unyielding, and respected. Above all, Earth had spoken, underestimate us at your peril. And in that quiet, humanity's dawn in the interstellar arena truly began.